Welcome back to the Packers Corner. Another W for the Packers this week, but maybe a couple angsty gentlemen with me here. They said they got a sound off on what was a win on Sunday for the Packers. We're going to break down some of the injuries that transpired and check in on the Aaron Rodgers saga, look around the NFC North, to get the pulse of Schmitty after Caleb Williams and the Bears debacle. We'll get all to it after the break here.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
It was named after Vince Lombardi. You play in Green Bay. As important as it is to any other team, it means more to us.
When he walked into the meeting, he looked us right in the eye. He said, "Gentlemen, we're going to relentlessly chase perfection."
My first thought was, on any play with my arm strength, I may not let anybody know this, but my first thought was home run. On every play. On every
play. He did what? Fires into the end zone. Touchdown! No!
Well, as we see our favorite Vikings memory there, the clip with PA, I'm reminded that the Vikings lost to the Rams just like you and I picked, Schmitty. If we're excited about one thing, maybe we're the most excited about that. How did you feel watching that one on Thursday night?
That was so sweet. When I saw the game was 14-14, I was like, there's no way the Rams lose this game. It just felt like it was destiny. And the Rams look really good. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp coming back, like perfect timing, I would say. So to see the old Vikes take a L was so sweet. Unfortunately, K-Fan, my favorite thing to do is 9 a.m. K-Fan after a loss like that. And those wimps, they didn't do a montage. But other than that,
PA wasn't there on Friday.
No PA on the mic. So enjoyed the victory for the Rams and was looking forward to the rest of the weekend. It was a good start.
Dad, I bumped into you working on your shed after the game here, and you said you had to cut loose. We got a win here. What do you have to cut loose about here?
Well, I was all full of vinegar at the time. My energy level was high, and I've been working on that darn shed, trying to hang the garage and put the step hangers going up to the rafters, and I'm so doggone tired I forget what I was all fired up about. No, I'll be able to muster up to it. This is maybe the most exercised I've been after a Packers loss since I can't remember when. And I know that's probably a sign of progress with the team, but as I've said repeatedly on this podcast, there's so much more out there for us. So we're not performing. When Jordan Love is under center, right now he is the 31st ranked quarterback with over 100 attempts when being blitzed. He ranks 31st. He's not performing in those situations. I know the injuries and everything else, and in this game should have been over at halftime. We were so unopportunistic with the ball in the red zone. We have that. Guys, we said last year at the finale of the year, the story will be told. Is Jordan Love going to stop making stupid, ill-advised interceptions at inopportune times? And it's not happened. He's thrown one in every game this year. So I'm not off the Jordan Love thing at all. I find it very interesting that when Mr. Willis gets in the game, all of a sudden we start running the ball like a hot knife through butter. Things start clicking, and I'm waiting to see that with Jordan Love, because had we done here, we get a field goal out of this drive here. So opportunistic play, we're ahead about 20-10 at halftime. We score once in the second half and the game's over, but that's not how it went. And thank God Mr. Willis comes in and leads us on 3 scoring drives. One of these times, Schmitty, Susie and Johnny and Mommy and Daddy are going to come home with big tears, crocodile tears running around their face if we don't start being more opportunistic. And I could go on about the defense in the second half. Looked like we had our old coordinator back there at the end when we playing soft and not blitzing. But all right, now a lot of positives. Let's get into some of those.
Well, let's let Schmitty play the other tenor here. I'll let you give out some awards, Schmitty. What do you have for us in that department?
For awards, I mean, how can you not give it up to the best safety in the league, Xavier McKinney, again with a huge turnover? Uh, Unfortunately, we know how much I like Quay, and it's unfortunate that he had to drop out to get Cooper more minutes, but he seems to be the next leader of this defense. I really believe that he could wear the green dot for us in the years to come. So I was really pleased with his performance. And then Griffey, I've been thinking about it this week. I was like, if you had to pick only one receiver right now, you only had money to sign one guy for the next 4 years, who would it be? I don't know if you could convince me that it's not Romeo Doubs, honestly, with just how well he's been playing. That sideline catch he made, he's so sure-handed. As much as we all love Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs seems to be the sure-handed, do-it-all wide receiver outside the numbers. So really pleased with his performance. And then Griffey popped the champagne. Another Brandon McManus walk-off field goal, the guy we've been clamoring for. Those 4 guys this week really, really pleased me. And to touch on Gar's disappointment with Jordan Love, I'm starting to get there too, Griffey. You can't. That play in the second quarter, he throws that out route. We're driving. We're in the red zone. You can't make that mistake. That's not even a deep ball 50-50. That's just a bad ball. And the cornerback jumps it, and we come up with no points. So that needs to be cleaned up. Wonderful that we have Malik Willis and able to give us the snaps that he does. It doesn't seem like we miss a beat. It almost seems that we invigorates our offense, and we look way better in the run game. Josh Jacobs had a fantastic game. I'm just disappointed with knowing that Jordan Love is supposed to be our guy, the guy that leads us to the promised land, and it just seems like we're faulty there. But the guys that I mentioned previously, they all deserve a nod. I'm really pleased with the performance. So we got the dub.
I got to push back on the Jordan Love stuff just a little bit here. Coming into this week, I think he had 8 turnover-worthy plays that he had participated in, and he had 8 interceptions. So the luck had been going against him a little bit. That's not an inordinate number of times to put the ball into trouble, especially with all the touchdowns he's putting up. Josh Allen, I think, had 10 coming into this week with 0 interceptions for contrast. So I think there was a little bit of poor luck there to some degree. That said, I want to get into his injury and some of the things that way. Before we go there, Dad, do you have some awards to give out? Let's stay positive for a moment here.
Well, I was going to go frozen stiff mustache right off.
Well, that's an award. I guess that's allowed.
I'm about to give one to Rashawn. I don't even know who I am, Schmitty. I'm in a grumpy mood here. I'm not usually like this. I'm usually, I'm up there on cloud 9. I'm just Mr. Positivity. So I don't know exactly how to behave, but I've had it with these guys making multi-million-dollar contracts and not giving us any performance. Vince Lombardi would say, "Where's the performance? If we can't get a performance out of you, young man, we're going to put somebody else in the ball game." Looks like we put Eric Wilson in for Quay Walker, and the Quay Walker can just have a seat with the way Eric Wilson and Ed Cooper are playing out there. So Lucas Van Ness, Rashawn Gary, Preston had a couple good rushes in there, or at least hurried the quarterback. But I don't know what's happened to Rashawn Gary. I for the life of me, don't get it. On that last drive, when we try to rush 4 guys, we got nothing. We're not even sniffing the quarterback. And, now we got Williams out of the game, so we're playing Bullard back at the safety. He didn't look very good there. So anyway, I think Rashawn Gary, strictly, hopefully for motivational purposes, is going to get the stiff mustache. Josh Jacobs gets the green cape. I mean, come on. Are you kidding me? When we need it, he steps in the hole, makes a juke, cuts back to the left, gets us a 38-yard touchdown. And that sets up the whole play to Jaden Reed, where we're gashing him in the run game. So we go play action, and our buddy LaFleur schemes up a beautiful play, and Willis just hits him in stride. And that's another thing I got. Where are these schemed up plays when Jordan Love is in there? So, okay, we won the game. Look at here. Cleveland beat what? Cleveland beat Baltimore. Baltimore thought they were going to have an easy win. You see Arizona nips 28-27. They nip at their game there. So it's a tough league. We get a win. I just don't see us being in the same league as Detroit right now. I hope maybe by the end of the year we will, but if we can all behave and play like Josh Jacobs, we'll be on the right track.
I got to give out a couple of awards. Can we get an award for Malik Willis? We get our third win with him at the helm. We had the great play that wasn't even in for this week's install to Jaden Reed that sealed the deal at the end of the game. And I got another award. This is the Golden Cape, maybe not the gold, let's say the cheese-filled sash for Chris Brooks. Recently signed, goes down, doesn't score his first NFL touchdown, and instead allows us to ice the game with Brandon McManus. So appreciated the effort from those guys. Injuries. Jair hobbled maybe at the end of that game. We got to find out more about that. Evan Williams leaves the ball game. And, of course, Jordan Love with the groin. Dad, of course, you and I were pretty adamant that we thought with the MCL injury, Jordan Love could tape it up, rub some dirt on it, put on a knee brace, and get out there again. I have the complete and opposite feeling with this, with a soft tissue groin. No such thing as a groin brace. This seems like something that could be re-aggravated and be lingering issue for the rest of the year if it's not managed correctly. What are your thoughts on how we should handle this injury with the Lions game looming, Dad?
Well, if you're going to brace up the MCL and rub dirt on it, I don't know. You put a chastity belt on the groin or no, probably not. I would agree. I don't think you rub a little analgesic balm on there. There's nothing you can do. So I am in total agreement. That's one of those injuries you can't extend. You can't. It may have affected that throw, Schmitty, out there to the flat on the goal line that he couldn't really drive the ball. The decision is what I didn't like. Got to take care of the ball down there. Here again, it's not a down where you have to force it. It was an early down. I can't remember if it was first or second down. So decision making. But no, they say he's day-to-day, guys, which would lead you to believe, and the coach, the mentor said, if he can play, he'll play. I'm not so sure you can't scheme something up and get the boys fired up behind Malik Willis and put out a formidable effort. I don't know if you're going to get all the way there, but I would not mind us putting Jordan Love on ice for a week and seeing what Malik Willis can do. But it's going to be very interesting because right now, hey, the only thing you can say is Detroit peaking early because they look like they mean business. When it's time to win, they just go win, and they do it in convincing fashion, and we're eking things out. Thank goodness we're doing it. But, doesn't matter where you are now. It matters where you are at the end of the year. So hopefully we're aiming for peaking late in the year.
Well, we have the bye week coming up, of course, an extra week for Jordan Love to get healthy potentially there. So I could hear an argument either way. Obviously, if Jordan Love can't protect himself, he's not going to be out there. But even still, I don't know. I feel like maybe we should be more cautious about this one. But it'd be fun to see him go out there and beat the Lions too. How do you feel about that whole situation, Schmitty?
Yeah, I think it's actually a really easy decision, knowing that you do have the bye week right after the Lions game, and who knows? I don't know if anyone's beaten the Lions, frankly. That's just how good they're playing. And so to give Jordan Love damn near 20 days uninterrupted rest and rehabilitation to this groin, I think that's the play. We can win with Malik Willis. It's going to be a hell of a test on Sunday to beat the Lions with Malik Willis, but not one that I don't think anyone in the locker room thinks that it would be impossible. And you have such a great coach in Matt LaFleur to actually draw something up. We've seen it now 3 times, two full games and a half, where we're able to put Malik Willis out there and actually be a convincing winning NFL offense. And so do I want the rest? I think that's the approach here. Matt did say in this press conference yesterday, if he can't protect himself, that it's not even a question. We're not going to entertain him even playing. So I think they have his best interest in mind. But if he can go, he's going to go, Griffey. The spread right now, I think Las Vegas thinks that he's going to go because it's only at 3 points. So that's I think that's very telling as to what they think is going to happen on Sunday.
Speaking of quarterback, Shmi, would you, out of these three, who would you rather have rest of season? Malik Willis, Aaron Rodgers, Caleb Williams.
Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, and it's not even close, Griffey. The guy, is that? Can I just be done with that? Be my answer? No, Aaron Rodgers, Griffey, because he's done it before. We've seen all tier success, supremacy in the league. That's what he's done. And while it's not worked out for him with the Jets, I'm going to take him 10 out of 10 times over Malik Willis, who's done has some Matt Flynn love lately, and then also a rookie quarterback. Give me the guy that's the 4-time MVP and won a Super Bowl.
Well, that's fair enough, but things sure are crashing down in New York. What do you make of that spectacle, Dad?
Well, I appreciate the chance to chime in here. I would agree with Schmitty if Aaron Rodgers, and maybe he's humble enough now, after trying to do it by himself, run the old Rodgers offense, the old 95 or 2002, well, I guess it's 2010 offense, where you go back and you slither out and you try to make a secondary play when you get out of the pocket, and it's just not working very well. So maybe he'd be humble enough to listen to Matt LaFleur and let Matt LaFleur scheme it up for him. If that's the case, then it would be Aaron Rodgers. I know for sure Malik Willis is going to let Matt scheme it up. And I would just ask this question to slightly change the conversation, because there's no reason to relitigate the Aaron Rodgers thing. We've done it enough times. But where would this team be without Malik Willis? We may very well be looking at a 3-5 record without Malik Willis. And I'm not trying to suggest that he's the starter and that he's better than Jordan Love. I don't know. But, boy, you got to give the guy all the kudos in the world. And it's quite obvious that he has elevated the play of his teammates around him. They love the kid, and they've run through the wall for him. And it's been an unbelievable thing to watch. Like I said, in the second game when he started, there's no way they're going to pull the rabbit out of the hat twice. Well, now they've pulled the rabbit out of the hat 3 times in a row with this kid. And it was no small thing that he did. He had to lead 3 scoring drives in the second half, guys, because the defense let Trevor Lawrence look like he was the second coming of Tom Brady out there. And thank God Malik rose to the challenge and dotted up Jaden Reed, and the young kid Brooks plays Rolex time. LaFleur calls that Rolex time when it's all about running the clock out, and all the guys knew it. So that's good coaching. Good on Brooks. They obviously parted the season, wanted him to score there, which was the play. But he didn't take the cheese, boys. And is it a beautiful thing to watch McManus line up for a field goal? Have you watched the effortlessness with which he swings that leg? It looks like a beautiful Ernie Els golf swing, just tick-tock, and the ball sails, and it never looks like it's an effort at all. So beautiful thing to see that ball go through the uprights and watch the clock go to 0 and get another victory.
Sure does look pure there. One more thing to focus on for this week in review before we look forwards. We had quite a play to end another divisional rival game here. We see Jaden Daniels dance around and do his best Aaron Rodgers impression. I thought the other angle too, where they had this Bears defender kind of jeering and taunting the crowd and not paying attention to the play, and then he runs in and tips the ball up in the air, and that's all she wrote for the Chicago Bears. Schmitty, about halfway through the fourth quarter, I think Caleb Williams was 4 for 15, 36 yards passing. He did come on just a little bit to give the Bears the lead. And then the Bears tried to emulate the 85 Bears. They brought in the big boy to run the football and cough things up there. It was a kind of weird game, and it felt like a Hail Mary was just going to happen. I wasn't even surprised to see that come to pass, really. But what do you make of the showdown between the number 1 and number 2 that picked there this week?
Griffey, I was looking. This was the game other than the Packers that I had circled, and what a pitiful performance on offense by both operations. I think Caleb Williams had about 100 yards in that fourth quarter. He looked like he turned it around there. Griffey, I told you at the start of the season, you got to have the office, the coaching staff needs to be upper echelon to be a consistent winning machine in this league. We're blessed. We're blessed with Matt LaFleur. No one can question that. It is abysmal. You look at the Jets now. You look at what the Bears are doing. Griffey, that whole group needs to be walked out the door. They're going to ruin. They're going to spoil this kid that has a golden arm, and I firmly believe that. And you got to figure this out. Get the Ben Johnsons of the world. I'd be dialing it up right now. I would be sending him little cakes. I'd get him the edible arrangements. Whatever I could do for him to recognize that the Bears are a team that he could lead to success because they have a really good quarterback. I would try to be convincing Ben Johnson right now to make that all happen. Griffey, the Bears operation, it's a sad one. And how do you have it literally it's spelled out by the play that Stevenson, everyone's probably seen that video now where he's literally taunting the Washington Commanders fans, and then is the one that causes the tip up to get caught in the end zone. You just can't have that. That's organizational issues. And so be very, very thankful, Griffey, that your father blessed you with becoming a Packers fan for the entirety of your lifetime. Because goodness, you would not want to be in Chicago right now. I can only imagine the blood-hungry fans. They want heads to roll, Griffey. I know this.
I really don't want to see Ben Johnson stick around the NFC North when you put it that way. Let's get someone else to hire that guy. We've got a matchup within the division for us, of course, this week as we look towards playing the Detroit Lions. Big question. Well, and maybe before I get in that, I do want to put up our records here. So I said that there was a bit of an asterisk with my record here. I said that game between Washington and Chicago was going to be contingent upon who played at quarterback. So I want you guys to adjudicate what I should do with my record there. Do you have any thoughts on what we should do on that? I'll take the loss if you think that's fair. I didn't come up and pick Washington once they announced Jaden Williams, so I wanted to get your guys' thoughts.
I think because of how the game ended, that I will grant you a tie. You will get a tie. I'll give you a 0.5 on the scale because of how the end last play. Gar?
Well, all of a sudden here, we've interjected these games other than the Packers games into the equation. And is this Packers corner or Bears corner or Lion? What corner is it here? So these other games, this is in a whole different category. This is the minor leagues. These picking of these ancillary games. So congratulations, you boys did. I was very happy you picked the Rams. That was wonderful. But I think that's an asterisk all by itself. Goes in a different category. We got our picks for the Packers, and then we got our sundry and various other picks for informational purposes, but let's keep it clear for those people who are interested in tracking this thing. Another category for those other picks.
Well, we got limited bandwidth for the graphics guy, so we'll see what we can do there. But we got to get Schmitty a couple wins. We had to bump that up. He was at 0 wins a week ago, and now we got 4 in the win column there when we did it this way. So let's talk about wins here and who's going to win Lions-Packers matchup, Schmitty. Give us some thoughts and then take us through your prediction on that one, if you would.
Well, Griffey, just like you get to pick if it's going to be Jaden Daniels or not, and that's going to determine who wins the football game. Is that what we get? Is that what I get to decide this weekend?
Well, I think we can phone it in after the fact, and we'll amend the record if need be.
I'm going to tell you right now, Griffey, and I have all the appreciation for the Lions football team, all the appreciation for what that offense does. They are a juggernaut. Their defense, they lose Aiden Hutchinson. probably the best edge rusher in the league. He's that good. He's ascended that quickly. The team, Branch, what their D tackle that they just gave a contract to, also fantastic. They're getting good snaps out of Anzalone. He's the captain. He's the green dot, I think, for the Lions. And Griffey, their run game. We have Josh Jacobs. They have two seemingly Josh Jacobs caliber running backs. And on top of that, Amon St. Brown. They're that good of a team. I think that they're better than the Chiefs.
Jameson Williams.
No Jameson. No Jameson Williams. I think he is fantastic. He's like our Christian Watson, if you will.
No Aiden Hutchinson.
Yep.
I get all that, guys. I do. I really do. That's a fantastic ball club. Has been all year. They win convincingly. Griffey, I'll say this: we're 3-point favorite or 3-point underdogs going into Sunday. So, like I said, Vegas probably thinks that Jordan Love is going to play, and I'm going to be ears to the ground as soon as they announce that Jordan Love is going to play that game. Griffey, I'm going to call the bank. I'm going to wire all the cash to my bookie. And we're going to place it all on the Lions money line because we don't have a chance in hell. They got to rest that kid, Griffey. They got to give him 20 days rest or we are going to get blown out for the rest of the season. I'm telling you, Griffey, if we play that poor kid on Sunday, he is going to get lit up. He's going to tell coach that, oh, I'm good to play. I'm ready to rock. He is going to get obliterated so much so that even Coach LaFleur is going to think about, should I bring in Malik? It's middle of the second quarter, and we're down 35 rip. So I'm praying that Malik Willis starts that game because, Griffey, then I'll tell you what, Malik Willis, he leads us to a victory, Griffey. We win 27-19 with Malik Willis. We lose 42-3 with Jordan Love. He can't stop throwing interceptions. We lose the turnover battle. You got flicker it back and forth. Griffey, we're in bad shape if Jordan Love plays. So I want everyone to go to bed tonight, wish to the Tooth Fairy, to whomever, that Mr. Malik Willis plays on Sunday because then you got a chance.
Do we have a quarterback controversy if Malik Willis goes out there and gets a win?
Griffey, of course we do. Of course we do now. Have you seen the QBR ratings? Did you see the out route that he threw in the second quarter? He's throwing picks, Griffey, up the wazoo. We're going to lose games eventually. Thankfully, we got a competent kicker now, so everything's fine and dandy. It took us weeks we were clamoring for that for a while.
Maybe the kicker can play quarterback.
Maybe, because we might need it. You got Jordan Love ruining things.
Wazoo Schmitty. Dad, what do you have to interject relative to that tirade?
I think we better get a hot water bottle for Schmitty and then an ice pack, and you can put the ice pack on his head and sit on the hot water bottle to get everything calmed down there and
tears at least.
You get the yo-yo straightened out. But I like what you're saying, Schmitty. I like I told you, I'm grumpy about the performance. I haven't seen it. I believe you got to stack performances before you can put them out there in a big game. We're 6-2, which is good position. It's a long season. As grumpy as I am and having not seen what I want to see about this team putting a full game together, something tells me that they're going to put one together this week. Something deep down inside me just tells me they're going to put their best foot forward and put out a formidable effort out there. But in all good conscience, I can't pick them, and I just hope I'm wrong. I hope that feeling is right, and somehow they're going to get it done. But my brain tells me you got to go Lions. They're just performing at a high level. They're mad about not getting to the Super Bowl last year. They got this one circled, so going to be a titanic effort. And I got a feeling Jordan Love's not going to answer the bell, like you say, and that's going to be enough difference that we got to go Lions here, unfortunately, as much as I hate to do it.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter who plays quarterback. We're not winning this game, gentlemen. We just barely beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Are you kidding me? No, we're not. Did you remember the last time the Lions came to town? They had the Hawaii blue filling up the stands and chanting and cheering in an otherwise empty stadium after the game, and it's going to be more of that on Sunday. Unfortunately, is what I see coming to pass now. When it comes time to kick off, I'm going to have myself convinced that we got a heck of a chance and we're going to give it our best shot. So don't let the boys watch this. I don't want to discourage anyone because it's any given Sunday. You can go out there and anybody can beat anybody in this league. But you can't pick the Packers based on what we've seen to date, and with quarterback situation up in the air and our top cornerback out, we're going to have Eric Stokes out there trying to guard Amon-Ra St. Brown. So no, I don't think you can pick the Packers here. I'm sorry to say it. Couple other games to get to. We have who do we have around the division this week? We had Indianapolis playing the Vikings. We've got big news on that front. The Colts are benching Anthony Richardson. It's just the Vikings' luck that they have to go play Joe Flacco now. They get to play the Rams with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua coming back, and now they get to play Joe Flacco instead of Anthony Richardson. Give me your thoughts on that matchup, Schmitty.
Griffey, they make a fantastic decision to bring in Joe Flacco. You asked me about, Rodgers, Willis, and who are the third guy?
Caleb.
You take Caleb Williams. You take the guy that has the experience. Joe Flacco has the experience. If you're the Colts organization, they've had such a bad time with AR-15. You got to have Flacco to try to reinvigorate this team. Unfortunately, for the Vikings, they're the ones that got to play him this week. I don't think it matters, though, Griffey. The Colts really aren't all that. The Vikings are 5-point favorites. I probably like them to cover by at least 9, if I had to guess. I think it's at home here. I just don't see how the Vikings lose this game.
Dad, take us through that one.
Vikings at the bank, coming off 2 losses on a mini bye, madder than a wet hen. I don't know how they can screw this one up, other than it sounds like this kid from USC is getting grumpy about not getting enough passes over there because J.J. Jefferson is getting all the love. So maybe there's a little internal turmoil. Could we crank that up somehow? And Flacco runs wild over there, and Jonathan Taylor goes nuts. No, I can't quite see it, so I got to go purple.
Oh, boys, the Colts are going to get it done. Absolutely. The Vikings are in free fall. We thought that the NFC North might be the best division in football, and I think it's going to be a couple teams that run away with it here. The green and gold and the Hawaii blue. We get to see them play on Sunday. Vikings tailspin. I'm looking forward to another montage on Monday morning here. All right, we got one more to look at. Bears versus Cardinals. I haven't heard this comparison much, but I think Kyler Murray is the comparison for Caleb Williams. I think the agility they move with behind the line of scrimmage, kind of some lateral movement. They're both very evasive back there, kind of the shortstop type arm angles. I just think Caleb Williams is a poor man's Kyler Murray. I'll give you my pick right away here. The Cardinals get it done against the Bears. Schmitty, what do you have to say to that?
It's a pick'em game, Griffey. It's hard for me to tell you that it should be the Bears. Honestly, the Cardinals just had what did they? They just won, right? The Bears look really poor. If you have to ask both fan clubs of the Caleb Williams of the Kyler Murrays, it'd be hard to convince them that they should trade for the other quarterback. Because I think they're both playing decently well given the circumstances of their coaching staffs. I like the Cardinals, Griffey. I do. I think they're ascending and the Bears are descending. So that's how it's going to go. And then I agree with you. I think it's going to be a 2-horse race at some point here. You're going to see the Packers and the Lions start to clear away from the other 2 teams in the division.
Dad, Bears, Birds, who do you got?
Well, is it Bears at the Birds or Birds at the Bears?
That's a good question. I can bring it up here, but I didn't do my research on that one.
Steak by the lake, or are we playing out in the desert?
It's in the desert.
Well, then you got to go Birds. Birds in the desert, Bears at home with the wind blowing off the lake. And so give this one to Kyler
You
Murray.
think that Painted Nails quarterback's going to be a cold weather type of a guy?
Well, no, but the rest of the team is. That's all you got to hope for.
There you go.
And they'll
They
carry
play
him
special
along.
teams there in Chicago. It's always been
They
that
do.
way.
They do. And they got DJ Moore, a blue-collar guy, a tough guy in a tough guy town, you know. And don't count the Bears out yet. They're going to determine the North Division. They're going to sneak up. I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to beat the Vikings either once or twice. And we'll see if we're able to sneak by them 2 times. That's no guarantee there. And so they're on the come up. They're getting some things done, and they are going to have something to say about the North Division before it's all over.
Well, boys, anything we missed for today? I'll give you guys a chance to leave us with some final words there, Dad.
We missed an accolade for our terrific punter from the UK. Isn't he a UK guy, a rugby soccer guy or something? This
Danny
Wayland?
boy.
Good Lord, he's an all-pro back there. He keeps kicking at 60 yards every time, single-handedly flipping field position. Between him and our place kicker, we are looking good in the kicking game, and it has been a huge cog in our success in these close ball games on the road. So big kudos to Mr. Wayland, both for kicking the ball and for holding for our place kicker. Don't ever forget the value of that. The man has a great right foot and a great pair of hands. So big cash of, I think it should probably be Colby Jack, a cash of Colby Jack for the punter.
Some might say the best variety of cheese right there. You're giving them, some good stuff there. I like to hear that for Danny boy. Schmitty, what do you have to wrap things up here for us?
One thing we missed, Griffey, it always makes me giggle and then makes me go absolutely insane, is when there's a Josh Myers part of the game. And I heard one on a hot mic saying, "Josh, are you effing blind?" I'll hopefully I can find that and I'll put it in the comments of this episode. So whenever Josh Myers falls flat on his face or gets yelled at by a coach, I'm always excited to hear that. But Griffey, we have the best fans in the NFL, bar none. We do. Packers fans, they rise up to the occasion, and Sunday is one of those occasions where we need to rise up. You need to get up early. You need to get the brat smoking. You might need to make the sauerkraut yourself this time, for gosh sakes. Griffey, it's one of those games. You win this game on Sunday, and things start to open up. You start talking about home field advantage, and what would home field advantage be for a Jordan Love? And I know it hasn't been good to us in the past, but maybe this is what we need. If we get home field advantage with this era of Packers, that we become elite. And so Packers fans, become venomous, be hateful, dislike the other team on Sunday. There has to be one time of the year, Griffey, one game of the year that we don't have to be so kind to the other opponent. It's this Sunday. This is the card. You can use it. I'm granting that to you. Griffey, we need to win this game Sunday, and I think the Packers fans have a big part in that outcome.
This seems like a game that Derek Crumry will have the hallowed jalapeno grapefruit Svedka ready to go for. Does that seem like that's on brand, Schmitty?
Oh, highly. Yeah, I'll probably drink half the bottle come Sunday if things start popping off, yeah.
That's a rare gem. It's no longer in production. That's something that Derek's had brought out on special occasions dating back to back when he was at Madison, I think. But they discontinued it a heck of a long time, so it's got to be a special one for him to bust that out. Hopefully, you guys get to share a little bit of that with a green and gold W. With that, Schmitty, I appreciate your words. Let's have the fans bring us over the edge on this one. But I got one vision in my head. I said for a long time, whenever I closed my eyes, I saw 10 at the helm for the green and gold. That was back in the Aaron Rodgers days. And when you give me the visions of a cold home playoff game at Lambeau Field, Josh Jacobs running the ball 30 times, Malik Willis with 10 or 15 carries. That seems to be the picture, maybe the MO for this team. I don't know. I don't want to jinx anybody, but I had that picture in my head. We'll leave you guys with that one. I look forward to joining you, hopefully, after another win for the good guys next week.
Love you all.